Welcome back here to Bombers Live. I'm Brennan Miller alongside Dan Pizzanti. We'd like to thank our pregame studio show for throwing it up to us here in the booth. That's Jackie, Sam, and David. And a good one we've got on our hands here today as the visiting RPI Engineers come in to face the home team, the Ithaca Bombers. RPI on the season has been very, very good. One of the top teams in the Liberty League, sitting in first place, 14-2 overall, undefeated in conference play. For the Bombers, they're sitting at 11-3 after a big win yesterday. That one over the Union Dutchman. So two teams on hot streaks, looking to keep them going. Simon will take it down. We have not seen much from him in this game. Only 2 points, 1 for 6 from the field. Make that 1 for 7 as that one will not fall. Now RPI gonna come back down the court. Memlar up and under, and he just bodied Medling right out of that baseline position, just using his strength to get around the big man for the Bombers.
Let that be a lesson, kids. Don't give up the baseline. Memlar is a very big guy, and it's a lot easier for him to get a step on someone than maybe someone a little lighter, but overall, try not to give that one up on defense.
And that might be a matchup that RPI looks to exploit here in this third quarter while they've got it. It's Medling on Memlar, and Medling's going to get called for a travel. Took one too many steps there, and a turnover for Medling and the Bombers.
You just hesitated a little bit on that one. Really frustrating for the coaching staff. Just want to go straight up with that, not even think about it, and lay that one in. But a little shuffle is going to give it right back to the Engineers. But a nice job on offense right there by the Bombers. A nice cut by Jake Mitchell. Frees up Clay Medling. A good sign moving forward as they continue to exploit what they can take.
You know, we were talking about Medling and Mitchell. That's going to be not Medling and Mitchell. As the Bombers get a breakout here to Thompson, who lays that one in, a bucket for the Bombers. We were talking about, Memlar taking on Medling, and that might be a matchup that RPI looks to exploit. Memlar, one of the more experienced players on this RPI team, a starter in every game, and he's a guy that they look to. They're one of their top scorers, averaging 14.5 per game, and he's matched up on Medling, a guy who really has just been a substitute, taking the place of an injured Jack Stern over the last 2 games. So Ithaca with the ball, 3-ball, Alderete, yes please, that one's good, makes it a 2-point game.
You know, it's so hard for anyone to really stand here and say that Ithaca's out of this one when Alderete and Thompson have been so good, not only the past 2 nights, but all season. They really put the ball in the basket. They are the 2 best scorers in all of the Liberty League. With those 2 on the floor, Ithaca always has a chance.
Ball inside, and a bucket for the Engineers. So they answer Alderete's 3 with a 2 of their own. And now Ithaca will take it back onto the offensive side. Thompson near side, up top, Alderete. Close defense there by the Engineers. Thompson tried to get it inside to no avail though, and now RPI with a breakout. Memlar has it in the paint, kicks it out. Davis. No good, front of the rim, and the ball will bounce around where it is recovered by Sinan and Ithaca.
Good fight for IC to get the board, get the ball back, and try and recover from the turnover.
Medling tried to drive to the basket there, lost his footing though, and missed the shot. Ithaca able to force a turnover and get the ball back, so they will now have it on the offensive side. Out to Thompson, 3. No good, but an offensive board for the Bombers. Alderete's got an open shot, fakes a man out, and no good, back rim. And they cannot get those 2 3-balls to fall in what would have been a big momentum shift if they were.
We just saw a really nice job of Riley Thompson following his own shot. Clay Medling was right there, so he got the board after that. They swing it around, get it to Alderete. He takes a shot. He doesn't follow his shot, and RPI is going to end up with the rebound. It's subtle things like that that's going to cost Ithaca this game. They have to be as aggressive as they can, because let's face it, we've seen it throughout this game, and I don't think it's any secret to Ithaca. RPI matches up really well physically with Ithaca on defense. When they go into a man, they are confident they're not going to let Ithaca score, and they've been really good at keeping them out of the paint. So Ithaca needs to do all of the little things if they're going to win this game, like following their shot.
Ithaca at this point in this third quarter, they've been scoreless for the last minute and 37. Not only that, but they're 1 for 8 on their last 8 3-point attempts. Not looking too great for them at this point. 5 for 19 from beyond the arc for a 26.3% average throughout this game, including 1 for 5 here in this second half. So they've got to try and flip a switch and get those 3 balls to start falling if they're going to continue to take them. They force a miss there, but in a triple team, that was Dom Black able to get his own board and an offensive foul called. So it'll be Ithaca ball.
I'm not going to say that he wasn't pushed over, but I might give an Academy Award to Warwick on that last one. He did a really nice job anticipating the hit from Dom Black and going down when it was time. I'm not going to say that he flopped, but it was very convenient the way he fell right when he went into him.
Drive, sign in, no good. Offensive board for Ithaca, out to Warwick. Now sign in 3. Yes! And a big bucket there for the Bombers and for Synan as well. That'll be points numbers 3, 4, and 5 for him as that 3 ball falls. Their first 3 here in this second half.
Welcome into Bombers Live. I'm your host, Brennan Miller, and today a very special guest joins us. It is senior from the Ithaca golf team, Sophia Israel. Sophia, with a scoring average of 83.83 and a low 18 of 77. We are very excited to have you here. Obviously, name the stats, but we're here to find the person behind the stats. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I mean, thank you for having me. This is one of the first TV interviews I've ever done, so I'm really excited and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. We're excited to have you here. And I want to read this quote because you put it in your Untold Athletes article, and I think that it really does speak to what you just said. And it's, I hope that one day we reach that level of equality and respect. There is still an obvious divide that will continue to cause problems until it's fixed. I hope that it's sooner rather than later so we can create more safe spaces and welcome environments for all. And obviously you know what it's like being a woman in what is a predominantly male-dominated sport. So could you talk a little bit about that and being in a sport that is really started as a men's sport, but has since grown to be pretty equal?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think for me, it started way back when I was born. I was the first girl born in my dad's side of the family in 55 years. So I've always been a part of that boys club. And especially in high school, I was the only girl on my co-ed team until my senior year. And then we had another girl. So there was just the 2 of us. And, again, I think growing up with my brothers and my cousins, my brother and my cousins, I only have one brother, it really helped me prepare for that because it kind of can be a boys club. And I have never been on a team of all women until I got to college. And it kind of was a culture shock. I mean, I wasn't used to being with all these girls. And I've learned to, come accustomed to it. And it's great now. But it was a change. And, it wasn't that big of a change. I'm glad I, grew up the way I did. And I'm glad I'm having the experiences I did now. But, like we were saying, the rise of women's sports is, on the up and up. And it's so incredible to see all these, new women athletes come to terms with everything, trying new things, trying new sports they wouldn't have. I come from a very big wrestling family. And seeing all of the new girls teams coming about, especially in high school, has been great. And I really think we're starting to embrace the change and we're seeing a nice little sunrise on the horizon type of thing.
Yeah, and you're leading me right into my next question here because that was what I was going to ask next is about your cousin who was an Ithaca alum and All-American wrestler for Ithaca College. So, obviously you're familiar with the school, familiar with the athletics program. So what was it like coming to a school where someone in your family has been so successful?
I mean, it's great. It's funny. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, 4 or 5 total cousins go to Ithaca College. So it was always in the back of my mind. Seeing what my cousin Mark has done has been remarkable. I mean, from being an All-American, graduating in 2005, finding his way back to Ithaca and now working for them.
Yep.
It's been really great. And I remember looking at colleges, I wanted that family type of aspect. And I obviously got it because I'm really close with Mark and his wife and his 2 girls and his little foster son. And, it's been awesome. I had that inside look at Ithaca right from the beginning. And even when I started, I did not know I would end up here. But right. I think in the back of my mind, I did. I know I had that unconscious thought of, I'll probably end up here. And then once I figured out what major I wanted at the time, and playing golf, having that opportunity, it was so easy for me to pick.
Yeah, and that major, you're really just setting me up here, and I'm absolutely loving it, because I was going to ask about academics next and your major. Let's see, I have it written down. You are a business administration major with a concentration in sports management. So that is an incredibly long title, and much longer than my sports media. Tell me a little bit about that and finding a balance between academics and athletics.
Well, it's funny. I actually came into Ithaca with a major in sport media.
Nice,
So
yes.
I totally understand it. I switched majors like about halfway through, but I know I missed the park school. I missed all you guys there, and it was great. But finding that balance, it was pretty easy. You get that question a lot, especially as a student athlete, and a lot of people that I've talked to, especially from Ithaca, we all say the same thing. It wasn't as hard as we thought. I mean, we had such a set schedule and like set guidelines that we already knew to follow, and all the advice that we got from like the upperclassmen, our other peers, it was pretty easy. So the balance wasn't too bad. When I switched majors, it was a little tough because I had to catch up on like financial accounting, calculus, all classes that I'm not very good at.
Yeah, stuff parkies don't usually do.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a shock. That was fun to deal with. But, you just have to find that balance and acclimate to things. And, it wasn't that bad. And looking back on it, I did the best I could, and I'm really happy with that. So the balance isn't all that bad. Time management is a valuable and wonderful skill, and still trying to learn it a little bit, but it was pretty good. It wasn't so bad.
Aren't we all, right? So, just want to ask you, and this is what we'll wrap up on. We obviously care about Ithaca athletes and what they go on and do in the future. So what is in the future for you?
Well, a couple things. I mean, I'll be working with Cornell Athletics. I'll be doing their summer camps, their Cubs camps for like 7 weeks straight. And then it's not set in stone yet, but I will be doing a 10-month internship, post-grad internship in their ticketing office, which I'm already familiar with before COVID happened, unfortunately. I was already in their ticketing office doing a student internship, and it was awesome. And they're being very welcoming and giving me this opportunity. So, I'll still be up here for at least a year, hopefully longer. So we'll see.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Obviously a big thank you to you. And I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thank you so much. This was great. I really did have a fun time. This was awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. We'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who helped make this happen behind the scenes. Another big thank you to Sophia Israel for coming on and joining us for this episode of Bombers Live. I've been Brennan Miller. This has been Bombers Live. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check us out on our Twitter and our Instagram at ICTV607 and at ICTV607 Sports. Tune in next time for Bombers Live.
Thank you for sticking with us. It's raining out there on the field, but Jesse, we're up here in the box, so we're feeling pretty good. And we'd like to say thank you to the studio crew as well for their pregame. You'll see them at halftime as well, but this is going to be a good game. Ithaca coming in, as we mentioned in the pregame there, 4-0, and Buffalo State at 0-4. Ithaca won the toss. They deferred, and they're going to open with an onside kick. That is recovered by the Bombers. So how about that? Ithaca wins the toss, they defer, and then open up the game with an onside kick that they're able to recover.
Brennan, I honestly should have predicted this happening. They are so bold with the onside kick. So look at this. You win the toss, you defer. Swanstrom definitely says, guys, we're kicking the onside kick to start this off. I'm getting shades of the Saints Colts Super Bowl. It's starting things off spicy, is like I like to say it.
And that's Kyrie Brown who ended up coming away with that one. We're going to take one more look at it as the ball's just popped up. Brown on the far side, wide open. There was no one covering him, and it goes right into his hands.
So what actually happened was they lined up as if they were going to break from the huddle at any point, and they hid Kyrie down at the bottom of your screen.
The Bombers starting off hot here. A pass to the near side to Will Gladney, who fights through a few Buffalo State defenders and is then pushed out of bounds, but a pickup of more than 10, so that's a first down for Ithaca.
And Brennan Gladney setting all sorts of school records this year for the Bombers. He just passed, I believe, 200 career receptions. which is incredible. No one at this school has done that before, so congratulations to Will Gladney.
Gladney definitely making his case for best wide receiver in Ithaca College history. And if you can't see him, he's the one with the yellow cleats, so you're going to want to notice him throughout this game. Rolling out to his right is Germanario over the top. The pass is caught there. That's by Austin Hedgelin, and he is hit out of bounds, but not after he can pick up the first down. So 2 plays and 2 first downs for this potent Bomber offense.
Austin Hedgelin's been trying to get eased into this offense a lot more, but Brennan, we came out saying that Ithaca might want to rely on a running game, but right now they're killing it through the air.
The weather usually dictates how these offenses play. A rollout here for Germanario. He's going to throw it down the field and just overthrows the intended receiver, Andrew Vito. Good to see him back on the field after he dealt with an injury last time we were here at Butterfield Stadium. But now a valuable weapon back on the offensive side for Ithaca.
And they're going to need him today, too, because he's such a vital part of this offense. But what was amazing about that play was he found the soft spot. It was a great route by Vito. A great read by him, and unfortunately just couldn't get the ball.
So Ithaca going to throw again here, now lofting it down to Hedgelin, and again overthrown. Germanario taken down in the backfield, no flag though.
A lot of zip on that ball. Germanario put a lot of mustard on that one, a little too much, but out of the way of any defenders.
So 3rd down and 10 here for Ithaca. Buffalo State going to bring in a new defensive package for D linemen. Usually they run a 3-4 with 4 backers, but going to play a little bit more pressure here, and they will bring all 4. Germanario drops back. He'll throw. Lofting it down the field. Gladney, and it's caught. That's a reception for Will Gladney, his 2nd of the game, and now the Bombers inside the 10-yard line. So how about this? We talk about how the rain is going to play an effect here, and we're going to see a lot of running. But Ithaca hasn't run the ball a single offensive play.
Well, when you have Will Gladney and Andrew Vito on your team, you don't necessarily need to run the ball that much. Vito was actually open on that route too, but he decided to try to fit one in for Gladney. Great play.
And a fake there to Isaiah DeHady. Pass far side into the hands of Vito, and he is taken down after a short pickup, so it'll be 2nd and goal for the Bombers. I saw DeHady in there, thought they might try and pound it in. He's the power back for
Well,
him.
now they're getting close to the goal line. I call this DeHady territory, or you can call it DeHady Islands. But he's so unstoppable this close in the field, and the closer you get, the more dangerous he's going to get. And even if you don't hand it off to him, you have to respect the play action.
DeHady only averaging 33 yards per game on the ground, but 4 touchdowns for him. So he's a guy they like to go to in these red zone opportunities, a red zone that the Bombers have been so good on. They're 20 for 22 in red zone scoring.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did get a handoff here.
Germanario tries to draw Buffalo State offside. The flag flies. Let's see who it's on, though. The Bengals pointing the direction of the Bombers, and that's where the penalty will go. So Ithaca will back up 5 yards. They'll be on, I believe, the 13-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, they were going to hand it off there, but they were gonna throw the ball. I imagine now there's more of a passing air territory for him. You don't have to shy away from throwing when you have Joe Germanario as a quarterback. Look, this offensive line has been also phenomenal, especially in the red zone, and throughout the years too. I think it took some getting on the same page, but these guys are big guys who love protecting their quarterback.
Germanario in the backfield, DeHady on his left. He'll take it, 3-step drop, throw to the back corner of the end zone, looking for Vito, but just overthrown out of the reach of his intended receiver. And we've seen that a few times from Joey G here on this first drive, where he's got an open man but just overthrows him. Is that product of the wet ball or the weather?
I think he just got to get settled down a little bit more. Could affect the way his grip is on the ball. Might be slipping out of his arm a little too early. But, I mean, they have some zip on them. And, look, this Ithaca offense, I want to go and talk about the Ithaca offensive line really quickly, because they've gone to the backfield a few times, but he's been getting the ball out pretty quickly so far in this game. They've been attacking the perimeters a lot, which you need to have time to do.
Germanario over the middle to Vito. He's going to try and make his way into the end zone, but taken down at the 1-yard line. So it'll be 4th and 1 here for the Bombers.
Let's see if
they are going to go for it.
They're
They get
absolutely
right
gonna
back
go
up
for
to
it.
the line of scrimmage, and it might be a QB sneak. Under center is Germanario. He's going to take it to the right side and pushes his way into the end zone. Joey G gets in for the first points of the day for the Ithaca Bombers. 6-0